Hey there gang, Jim Hart here, back at you today with another episode of the Ask a Lawyer show. I am the founding attorney at the Hart law firm here in Cary, North Carolina. We do a lot of family law work, which is the subject of today's topic. And today I want to talk to you about how do you get divorced in North Carolina? What are the steps? And a lot of people are very, I don't want to say, but clueless about this. They think that they know the answer to this. They think they can figure it all out. They think they can do it on their own, and maybe they can, and a lot of people can, but it's also possible that a lot of people make some serious mistakes in this process. So before we go any further, before I get into the answer to today's question, I just want to remind you to take a minute and click the button down here, subscribe to our channel, and there's also, I think, a little alarm clock button. If you click that, you'll get notified when we post new videos. And we talk about all different topics of the law, not just family law. We also talk about personal injury, we talk about wills and trusts, and if there's anything else that comes up that might be something that I can answer for you, we're happy to try and answer that as well, even if it's something we don't do. We do know a lot of attorneys in the area that we can refer you to if you have an issue that's outside of our core practice areas. So anyway, what I want to talk to you about today is what do you do if you want to get divorced, and how do you get divorced? Well, there's two legal requirements in North Carolina to get divorced. Number one, you have to be separated from your spouse for 1 year, and number two, you have to be a resident of the state of North Carolina with the intent to stay a resident of the state of North Carolina for at least 6 months before you file for divorce. So that's basically it. I mean, it seems pretty simple, right? Well, then why did so many people mess it up? I got a call from somebody this week, and I asked them, they were more concerned about the fact they had just moved to North Carolina a couple months ago and wanted to know how soon they'd be able to file. And I asked them, well, okay, well, that's great. You just moved here. How long have you been separated? And she said, oh, a year. I said, okay, well, where's your husband live? She's like, well, in the same house. Well, that's not separation, folks. That is cohabitation. A lot of people think that if you live in a separate bedroom or you're not sleeping together in the same room, or you've got a house in the backyard, that apartment above the garage or something like that that your spouse is living in, even though it's in the same house, that you are separated. That is not true. You need to be living in two different houses, two separate abodes, two separate addresses, whatever you want to call it. They can be living next door to you, that's fine, you're then separated. But if you're living in the same house under the same roof, you are not separated, and you need to wait a full year until after you are separated to file for divorce. If you don't wait a full year and you file for divorce anyway, then you basically have, it's possible a judge may grant your divorce. The big problem with that is it could be deemed void, which means that it was never valid. So you think you get a divorce, and maybe you did, but a judge could declare it invalid if you weren't actually separated for a year. And if your spouse, then if you get divorced and you think that's the right way to do it, and then your spouse goes to an attorney and says, hey, we got divorced, but I was having second thoughts, and I think I need some alimony. I didn't ask for alimony. What can I do? And the divorce questions them, and they find out they actually lied on the complaint for divorce, then yeah, that's going to be a big problem. So that's not something you want to do. Not only would the divorce judgment be void, but you could, I forgot what I was saying now. There's no reason to mess around with that. You just wait your year, have it out, and be done with it. Now, I guess another question could come up, well, what do you do? How do you get separated? Who moves out? When do you do that? Well, those are very complicated questions, and oftentimes you may need the help of a lawyer to get you through that guidance. At our law firm, we're starting to offer what are called unbundled legal services, and I've done another video about that. I'll include a link down below in the description. But basically what that means is if you want to come in and talk to us for a couple hours and just get some simple questions answered, we do charge a fee for that, but we basically have broken up the course of the representation into discrete steps so that it's more affordable for you as a client, and we can help more people that way, and you don't have to go through this whole process blind, not knowing what you're doing. So anyway, that's it for today. Hope you have a great day, folks. Have a great week. We'll be back next week with another exciting legal question for you. But that's it for today on how you get divorced in the state of North Carolina. Take care. We'll talk soon.